Stop for a moment. Have you ever wondered why one single city, so small on the map, continues to pull the attention of the entire world? Jerusalem is not just a destination, not just a headline, not just an ancient name buried in history books. Jerusalem is a living question, and whether you realize it or not, that question has probably crossed your path more than once in your life. Jerusalem has been desired, fought over, defended, destroyed, rebuilt, and contested more times than most cities in human history. Empires rose believing they could claim it, control it, define it, and rule it forever. Kings believed that owning Jerusalem meant owning legitimacy, power, and destiny itself. Yet every empire passed, every crown fell, every army disappeared, and Jerusalem remained. And that alone should make you pause, because cities usually belong to those who conquer them, but Jerusalem never truly did. Walking through Jerusalem is like walking through stacked layers of time. Every stone has absorbed footsteps, prayers, tears, and decisions made by people who once stood exactly where you are now in life, full of questions, doubts, fears, and hopes. And here is the uncomfortable truth most people avoid saying out loud. The questions they asked back then are the same ones people still ask today. Time changed, technology changed, language changed, but the human search for meaning did not. Jerusalem is often described as a city of the past, but that description is incomplete. Jerusalem is not only history, it is confrontation. It confronts beliefs, expectations, and inner convictions. It does not allow simple answers, and it never fits neatly into a single category. It is not just politics, not just religion, not just archaeology. Jerusalem sits at the intersection of faith and doubt, certainty and confusion, hope and disappointment. Let me ask you directly, when you hear the word Jerusalem, what is the first emotion that rises inside you? Is it curiosity, resistance, reverence, discomfort, or indifference? Don't rush the answer, because whatever you feel says more about your inner world than about the city itself. Jerusalem has a strange ability to reveal what people carry inside, even when they think they are unaffected by it. Throughout history, people came to Jerusalem searching for answers. Some wanted a powerful leader, others wanted freedom, others wanted validation for what they already believed. Many expected clarity, certainty, and control. And many left unsettled because Jerusalem has a habit of challenging expectations. It exposes the gap between what people want and what truth actually looks like. This city has witnessed faith when believing made no logical sense, hope when circumstances offered none, and perseverance when surrender would have been easier. Jerusalem has seen moments when it seemed like everything was over, when defeat felt permanent and silence felt final. Yet again and again, what looked like an ending turned out not to be the end at all, and that pattern should not be ignored. Because if Jerusalem teaches us that apparent endings are not always final, then what does that mean for your own life? What does it say about the moments when you thought you were finished, when failure defined you, when loss felt irreversible, when doors closed and nothing seemed ahead? Jerusalem doesn't answer those questions for you, but it forces you to ask them. Many people believe Jerusalem has nothing to do with modern life. They see it as distant, ancient, irrelevant to daily struggles. But the truth is, Jerusalem has always been about personal decisions. Quiet decisions, internal decisions. Decisions about what to trust, what to follow, what to hold on to, and what to let go of. Jerusalem does not force belief, but it never leaves people neutral either. Over centuries, Jerusalem became the stage for betrayal and forgiveness, fear and courage, denial and transformation. Ordinary people stood there and made extraordinary choices, not because they were heroes, but because they were confronted with questions they could no longer ignore. And whether you admit it or not, you face similar moments in your own life, moments where avoidance becomes impossible. That is why Jerusalem unsettles so many. Even those who claim they believe in nothing often react strongly to this city. That reaction is not accidental. Other ancient cities exist, other sacred places remain, but none provoke the same internal tension. Jerusalem reaches deeper, beyond logic, beyond argument, into something more fundamental. Imagine someone walking through Jerusalem thousands of years ago. They did not know how history would unfold. They had no guarantee of outcomes. Now imagine yourself today surrounded by information, noise, distractions, opinions, yet still wrestling with the same essential questions. Who am I? Why am I here? What truly matters? Jerusalem connects those two moments in a way that defies explanation. So let me ask you something personal, but directly to you as a person. What do you think it would ask you? Would it ask where you place your hope? Would it ask what you are avoiding? Would it ask what you truly believe beneath the surface of routine and distraction? Jerusalem does not shout answers. It whispers truths. Truths that can only be heard by those willing to slow down, to listen, to sit with discomfort instead of escaping it. And if you are still listening right now, there is a reason. Something about this ancient city is touching something very current inside you. Throughout history, many tried to define Jerusalem, to own its meaning, to control its narrative. But Jerusalem always resisted ownership. It slipped through rigid definitions. It remained larger than any single explanation. And that teaches something essential. The most important truths cannot be possessed, only encountered. Right now, you are standing at a quiet crossroads. Or you can allow it to become a starting point for deeper reflection. You can decide that it means nothing to you, or you can let it challenge you to examine your own assumptions, priorities, and direction. Jerusalem has always been about response. Not about agreement or disagreement, but about response. People who encountered it were never unchanged. Some hardened their hearts, others opened them. Some walked away, others leaned in. The city did not decide for them, but it revealed them. And that brings us back to you. Will you ignore the questions rising inside you, or will you acknowledge them? Will you dismiss discomfort, or will you let it guide you toward clarity? Jerusalem does not demand answers today, but it does invite honesty. If something stirred inside you while listening, do not silence it. Moments like this do not happen often. Leave a comment sharing what Jerusalem represents to you, even if your thoughts are unclear. Share this video with someone who might also be searching, even quietly. And follow for more stories that are not meant to entertain superficially, but to provoke reflection. Because some truths are not meant to be shouted. And Jerusalem, even now, continues to speak to those willing to listen.